Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Buffalo Bills are somehow an improbable 3-0 after 3 weeks of what we could call lackadaisical football. There were moments where things fell apart. There were some times when nothing seemed like it was ever going to work again. And yet here we are. Somehow we've made it to this place. We have 3 wins. We have no losses. And the team has proven itself to be clutch. I don't understand. I can't figure it out. But I'm not going to fight it. I'm just going to open the floor to questions.
Have you ever looked at a United States map? Why would you make St. Louis ribs when you could have easily made your own Cincinnati chili?
First of all, Cincinnati chili. Now, I understand if the question is about tailgate food, Cincinnati chili is actually just ketchup and beef over noodles. It's not actually chili. It's a crime to call it that in my mind. You should be stoned in public as if you committed a crime overseas. That's Cincinnati chili. Meanwhile, St. Louis ribs, who has a problem with St. Louis ribs? If you do, you're not welcome at my party. Ergo, it's a profiling mechanism.
All right, well, I got a question about the game and not the food. Let's get to more important things. First off, what are your thoughts about how we started the game, doing the 2-point conversion, going up 8, and then looking good, everyone's feeling good about it, and then come the third quarter, just like we have every other week.
Everyone on this team is accountable. If I've said it once, I've said it a million times. Everybody here is accountable. Which means that 0 points in the third quarter for 3 straight weeks. Somebody needs to be accountable for that. And I'll tell you what, he's not wearing a jersey that has the number 17 on it. Otherwise, I like the fast start. I do. This is 2 weeks in a row. The team finally got the ball moving through the air as they should. We came out with a cohesive game plan, some scripted drives early. But you can't move away from that third quarter. You can't move away from it. And it's interesting that 2 weeks in a row, 0 points scored in the third quarter. 3 weeks in a row. If you told me it was going to happen twice, I could say it's a fluke. 3 times is a trend, my friend.
Coach,
Anybody else at it?
Mario Granada, #sports. I just wanted to ask you, when you say, quote unquote, people have to be held accountable that aren't wearing jerseys, could you be more specific?
Jalapeno. Guy. When I say people need to be held accountable, I'm talking about the coaching staff. We are a staff. There's a staff that exists that directs the players how to move. If it wasn't for a certain player who literally you could fit his balls into a wheelbarrow and walk them in front of him, the Bills would not be 3-0 right now. So with that, you cannot continue to rely on talent to bail out play calling. And that's what we're seeing week after week. As a team, we have to get better every week from here on forward.
Josh Allen, 180 yards in the first half, and then in the third quarter, why would you just abandon the pass and go right to the run game?
It's interesting, because I remember a certain person who may or may not be in attendance who said before the game that they would bet a Seagrams on the fact that Josh Allen would throw 300 yards today. Now, I personally laughed at that because no Bills quarterback throws for 300 yards. It's not what we do here. That's not Buffalo Bills football. And in true form, they went to the ground and pound in the second half. They tried to lean on their lead, thinking that the defense that they had just beaten up for 14 points was going to allow them to continue to lean on them, and they were wrong. That team found ways to make tackles. They found ways to trip our offensive linemen up before they could get to the second level and make the necessary blocks to extend big runs. They made more explosive plays in the second half in the running game than we did. That is unacceptable. But that's what drove them. It's not an abandonment of the pass. It's that you outsmarted yourself. Because if you notice, when you went to it, what happened? the Bills put themselves in position to win the football game. Case closed. Anybody else have any questions?
What about the offensive line? I mean, we didn't see
I won from over the fence.
Josh Allen's turnover there seemed like a game changer.
Oh.
Around the other way. What do you think there?
I'll tell you what I think about Josh Allen's turnover there. Josh Allen, everyone loves the fact that he runs the football. It's one of the greatest things ever because we have a dual threat quarterback. He is not LaShawn McCoy. Despite the fact that his hand, as much as talking about hand size, makes me want to blow the brains clear out of my skull when draft season comes around. He is not LaShawn McCoy. You cannot get away with running in the open field holding the ball like a loaf of bread. They need to bring McCoy back to host a clinic on how to carry the football in the open field because our quarterback needs to stop carrying it that way. If you're going to run the football, you need to understand you cannot turn the ball over like that. They already had momentum, and you gave it right back to them with that one turnover. Todd from across the fence.
I don't think we need LaShawn McCoy on that one. Maybe Frank Gore is here and can show him how to handle that ball.
You would think that some of our running backs could show Josh Allen if he's going to be a running back. Maybe he should start taking reps with them in practice. I don't know. What I do know is this. If he's going to continue running the football, as an offensive coordinator, I would mandate you need to take care of it because that ultimately is your job as a quarterback.
Is this a top 5 defense?
I've watched a lot of defenses in my life. I've seen abysmal defenses coached by some guy named Wannstedt who had a cheesy mustache. I saw them year after year, the Chan Gailey years, it's like a blur of just bad defenses. I saw the Rex Ryan defenses. They might as well have not even shown up on game day. This is a defense that, while it may not be top 10 statistically, they are one of the most clutch defenses in the entire NFL. Because week in and week out, and I think everyone in attendance can agree, when the defense needs a play, they get it.
Coach, just previewing next week, 3-0 Bills against the 3-0 New England Patriots. You think it's an advantage or a disadvantage having Brian Dable on your staff?
Right now, I'd like to send Brian Dable. I'd like to send him on a one-way vacation to Portugal for a weekend. He can hang out with our friend Hugo. I'd like to see him go somewhere far away from my football team for at least a week so that we can see what this offense could be under a competent offensive coordinator. Or at least in the third quarter. The guy can script a hell of a first half, and if he ever stopped getting his shoelaces tied together like this was the goddamn Three Stooges, you might have a competent offense. Todd, over the fence.
What do you think about Frank Gore's shoe problem today?
Frank Gore's shoe problem? I didn't see it, but I'll tell you this. If he had a shoe problem, that's hysterical. The man runs for a living, and you have a problem with your feet.
They had to tie his shoes like 3 times.
They had to tie his shoes. Doesn't he know that they make an app for that now, I think? I don't know. I don't know anything. Here's what I do know. The Buffalo Bills are 3-0. We are hosting the New England Patriots next week. It's going to be one way or the other. Win or lose, it's going to be a shit show. And I look forward to seeing you all out there. Bottoms up.